Hello, welcome to Go Beyond Betty. Today we're going to make green chili sauce. Now in New Mexico, you can go to any New Mexican restaurant and they're going to ask you, what do you want, red or green? And you're like, what? We put this red sauce or a green sauce on pretty much everything that we eat. I've shown you how to make some green chili enchiladas before. And that sauce is different. That one is mostly just specific to chicken enchiladas. The one I'm going to show you today is perfect for breakfast burritos. That is my #1 thing I like it for, but it's also great for any kind of burrito, anything you want to put it on. A ranch burger. Oh man, my parents at the restaurant, they used to make this thing called a ranch burger. So open face burger. You got the buns, you got the buns, you got the burger, and then you put cheese and stuff, but put the chili, this chili sauce all over it, french fries on the side. So then it's like you're dipping your fries in the sauce with cheese. Ranch burger. Oh my gosh, Tommy, we gotta make these. Guess what we're having for dinner this week? Ranch burgers. All right, we gotta get started. Okay. So it starts obviously with chili. You need real Hatch green chilies. Mine were frozen. When I bought them fresh, I had them roasted. I got them home. I took off the peel. I took out the seeds and the stem. So what I have left here, oh my gosh, I can even smell it. These are extra hot, super hot chilies. I'm probably only going to use a few of these today because I don't want my head to explode. The only other things you're going to need to make this green chili sauce, you need an onion. This is the smallest one I have. I don't want to use a huge onion. Some beef broth, some beef stock. Just use your better than bouillon. You're going to need some cornstarch for thickening it. And then either a can of tomatoes or I just happen to have some fresh tomatoes. Either one worked wonderfully. So I'm going to start by slicing this up into a pretty fine little dice and get this in a little olive oil or avocado oil in a pot, going just on a medium heat just to sweat them down. Now we need to chop up our chili. Again, I've taken all the stem and the seeds and the skin off. Do not touch your chili. So I'm going to show you how to cut it without gloves and without burning your eyes. All right, so I kind of just lay it out. We've got, now again, mine is extra hot. Oh, Tommy, how much do we want to be lit up? I think that's enough. So now I'm just going to, with my knife, give it a couple good long cuts. And then with your fork, you can kind of just use this here as a guide. And you're just going to make some dices. And then we're just going to use this to scoop it up and put it in the pan. As our onions are cooking down a little bit, we have our chili chopped. We're going to dice up a tomato. It's way easier to use a can of tomato and then use all the juice that you have in there. I just happen to have a bunch of fresh ones that need to be cut. I need to be mindful not to touch where that chili juice is. Just a nice dice. You don't have to go too fine with it. And we're gonna put all of it in at the same time. In the meantime, get your kettle going with hot water, and then we're gonna put a couple blobs of beef better than bouillon and mix it up. There's never really an exact recipe for green chili sauce because honestly it depends on the heat of your chili. So with this much chili and knowing how hot it is, I need a decent amount. So I'm gonna use at least like 5 or 6 cups of broth. So I'm just gonna get that going with the hot water and the bouillon. Beefy. I'm gonna use a huge blob. 1 teaspoon equals about 8 ounces of broth. So at least I'm gonna start with 4 cups. I'm probably going to add more, but I don't need to add more of the bouillon. All right, we're gonna add in our tomatoes, the chilies. Give it a little stir. Tomatoes and chili cook down really quickly, so a few seconds, we're good. Pour in your broth. Now, we're gonna let that come to a boil, but we need to thicken it. Oh my God, that chili. I always just wing it, and I end up adding a couple times. So we're gonna start with 4 blobs. Actually, I'm gonna start with 3 blobs, probably 1/4 cup. Add in your water. Now, cornstarch has twice the thickening power as flour. We can't use flour at this point. You can't just really, I guess you could, but you're gonna end up with clumps and it's just gonna be a mess. Cornstarch is nice because it just completely thins out. Right now we got like a nice little paste. No clumps. So once this gets to a boil, which it almost is because we're using hot water, we're gonna add this in there, we're gonna whisk it around, and it needs to have at least 1 minute so that it gets to the proper thickness. Now at that 1 minute mark, you can say, oh, I want it a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner. And that's really a preference thing. I don't want mine too thick or too thin, if you know what I mean. Now that we have our cornstarch and water, I didn't put a lot of water in there, I sure could have. Give it a good little whisk. But again, we need to give it a full minute. Also notice how the tomatoes have cooked down. Definitely want those cooked. It looks pretty good to me. Mind you, it's boiling, so it's even, it's at its most thin, but I think that's pretty good. I'm not gonna taste any of the actual chilies, but let's taste it. Because I'm pretty sure it's gonna need salt. It's probably gonna light me up. I'm a little scared of it right now. That's nice. That's real nice. It does need salt. Woohoo! But keep in mind, I feel like I say that all the time to you, keep in mind, even if it is a little bit,
there you go.
Even if it is a little bit salty, it's better, that's hot. It's better to err on the side of it being saltier than not salty, because once you put it with, say, like a breakfast burrito, you have all the eggs, potatoes, tortilla, cheese, all that's pretty neutral. And then, sausage, right? And then, so this needs a good amount of salt in it. So don't be afraid of salt. Try one more time. I don't need the heat anymore though. I know I like the thickness. I always just put it into a cup so that it cools it off really quickly. So we've already been discussing what we're gonna use this for. We both agree breakfast burritos, #1 thing we're making tomorrow. But I gotta have the ranch burger. Now that I had that little memory of like being, you know, a kid at my parents' restaurant, I ordered that all the time. Oh yeah, that's what I needed. That's why you gotta test for salt multiple times, because it's like, oh, it was good that first time, even better the second time, but that is it. You need that good little bite of salt, which is kind of acidic, and with your chili sauce. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell below. The bell will give you a notification when I have new episodes. So when we do the breakfast burrito, when we do the ranch burger, all those delicious New Mexican favorites that are close to my heart, you will get the notification so that you know when that video drops. So thank you for joining me at Go Beyond Betty, where you are taking whisks in the kitchen. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Do 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 do.